Hello, Squidlings. My name's Ted. I am the Squid. I voted recently. But anyway, I'm gonna read you a story. I was inspired to write this story about 7 years ago when I was studying in Japan for the second time. That was the first time I'd ever had a few drinks myself. It was the first time that I'd ever been around people who really enjoyed drinking, and they drank a lot. And I sort of knew that my family tree had sort of a history with alcoholism. So I was really inspired to write a short story about a guy who drank too much. So too much that it became quite eldritch. Hitting a nail on the head sometimes makes something which looks pretty unpleasant. So there is some disturbing, disgusting content coming your way. I just wanted to let you know so you can tap out now if you want to. So, happy Halloween, I guess. Tripp's Trap, also known as the bucket. My colleagues at the lab said my nightly vomiting was a symptom of alcohol poisoning. I would share that hypothesis, except I vomited eyeballs. I don't recall swallowing eyeballs, mind you, with optic nerves dangling like spaghetti. And twitching. I typically vomited into the toilet and flushed the eyes before the horror set in. But after a midnight joust with a bottle of gin, I heaved into the orange plastic bucket in my closet, where the eyeballs struggled like fish flopping for the water. I slammed the closet shut, and when I regained consciousness in the morning, I saw the eyeballs had died trying to escape under the door. I elected not to take them to the lab, my reputation already strained, so I turned to the meager equipment of my apartment. According to my bathroom scale, the weight of the eyeballs exceeded 1 kilogram, yet I'd lost less mass myself last night. I must have conjured the eyes from my stomach. For a while, I could not even look at liquor without imagining the eyeballs I should surely vomit. Then a spontaneous rendezvous with a handle of whiskey forced my hand. I puked 6 eyes and a pair of lips into the bucket. The lips squirmed like drowned worms into the shape of a mouth. "We gotta talk, Arnold." I slammed the closet. After staging a coup on a few more shots, I mindlessly retreated to the bucket. 2 more eyeballs, 6 more lips. My throat's last spasm threw an ear onto the pile. "Can I call you Arnie?" said the lips in unison. "Please, don't talk." "Your universe ain't well developed, so this might be hard to understand. Trust me, the eyeballs are the quickest way to reach you. Hey, it's not polite to stare, Arnie. Don't give me that look." I slumped onto my ass. "Oh God, I'm smashed." "Hey, lucky guess. Our universes are on a collision course." I moved to slam the closet, but the lips interrupted. "Pick up my ear, Arnie. It's hard to hear you." "Please, no. Into the ear, Arnie. Come on." I leaned into the bucket. "Go away! I don't want this." "You need my help, Arnie. I can't get into details. It involves trans-dimensional mathematics, and you stage 1 universes aren't hot on that. Can you even make quantum foam?" "What?" "Okay, time for a crash course. Not literally, I hope," murmured the lips. "Universes are like bubbles. Our bubbles are about to bash. This ain't my first rodeo, but you guys are gonna pop." "Who are you?" "Look, you're bright enough, Arnie. I'll level with you. I'm not a person. I'm a reality, the whole thing. Consciousness is inevitable, so lots of realities develop self-awareness. We call that stage 2. Whole ecosystem out here, Arnie. Yeah, trippy, huh? There we go. Call me Trip. Trip? You're a quick learner, Arnie. Anyway, your universe won't survive stage 1 if you pop now, okay? Gotta work with me here, alright? This is too much. I sprawled across the carpet, the world blurred in my vision. I'm not as mobile as I used to be, but your reality is pretty spry. If you can pass me the reins to your universe for a bit, I can jettison some of your space vacuum. Push you guys out of harm's way. Dig? How do I... What do you mean? I'll need your universe's address. Know it off the top of your head? I shook my whiskey. Only a tablespoon remained in the bottle. I drank it. Can't say I do. You know physics, Arnie? Well, some. I'm a chemist. I mostly study alcohols. Find a physicist. They'll know if anyone does. The next morning, I fumbled my way to the physics department. Arnold, are you drunk? Not yet. I pushed my wire glasses up the bridge of my nose. You don't happen to know the universe's address, do you? What? They squinted from behind their desks. Little early to be hitting the sauce, Arnie. The night's bourbon made me consider gifting Trip a fresh load of facial features. Sorry, no one knows what you mean. No prob, it was a long shot. I didn't know my address in stage 1 either. Trip somehow bit his lips at the bottom of the bucket. There's an equation for it, but you can only really solve it at stage 2 or 3. I can do equations. I felt bile rising in my throat. What's the equation? Nah, it's too complicated. You guys don't even have quantum foam. No way you've got the computing power. Hey, you're looking a little green, Arnie. Are you gonna chunder? I can keep it down. Then have another drink. I can't calculate your address from here. I gotta send you a neuron pod. Be careful with this, Arnie. I've only got about 86 billion. This is stage 3 tech, Arnie. The brown bottle's last drops trickled from its neck to mine. I gagged on the odor. What's a neuron pod? Trip surprised me by licking his lips with a tongue emerging from under the pile of eyeballs. Ever study biology? Get to mitochondria? Yeah? I doubled over the bucket and opened my mouth retching, but nothing came through. Saliva dribbled between my teeth. Neuron pods are like mitochondria. Sub-realities within me, but distinct from me. You gotta delegate, that's stage 3. Outsource your computation. I found some stage 0 podunk realities and converted the mass into brain matter. One neuron pod is like a septendecillion human brains. Smart brains, too, like yours, Arnie. All right, here it comes. Huge, like a cantaloupe. It shouldn't have fit in my throat, and it didn't fit in my mouth. Trip's eyeballs watched it flop into the bucket. Trip's lips smiled. A neuron pod was like a brain with a hagfish mouth and chattering needle teeth. Trip, what do I do with this? It's looking for your address. Just keep it safe. Friday night. Party night. In a dark alleyway, I popped the cork off $2 wine. Grape foam spilled onto the dirt. I put the neuron pod on a trash can lid. The needle teeth were the worst part, like a sex toy from hell. Can you talk? The needle teeth chattered. Answer questions? More chattering. What's quantum foam? The neuron pod's needle teeth shifted and clattered. filling the alley with heinous clicking, almost speech. After a quick drink of wine, like fermented olive oil, I held the neuron pod to my ear. Tiny realities. The queer, snapping voice had a thick accent from somewhere eldritch. Can you elaborate? Quantum foam is the primal fabric of the multiverse. Each bubble is a universe at stage 0, absence of conscious thought. When I put down the wine, the bottle was 2/3 empty. I'm not drunk enough. All this stuff about our universes colliding, it's all real? We're going to pop? My master leaves you with an ultimatum. Be annihilated by the ballistic force of a carooning reality, or entrust my master with your universe. I didn't like the way the neuron pod said master. Well, you've known him for a while. Is Trip trustworthy? My master is stage 4. 4? What does that mean? The neuron pod squirmed on the trash can lid. Stage 1 universes contain sentient beings. Stage 2 universes are sentient themselves. Stage 3 is utilization of Stage 0 universes. Stage 4 is enslavement of Stage 3 universes. The hagfish mouth went silent. Enslaving realities, sentient universes? I looked at the neuron pod. When Trip said you were Stage 3 tech, he meant... You're saying Trip enslaved 86 billion sentient realities, and you're one of them. Yes. The neuron pod flopped off the trash can. When it hit the ground, it almost burst, brain folds expanding with juices. The hagfish mouth puckered. Kill me! I poured the rest of the wine down my neck. Please! I smashed the bottle against the wall. Kill me! I threatened the neuron pod with the bottle's broken neck. Please! I can't. I dropped the broken bottle. If I kill you, Trip will just enslave my universe instead. I need your help. The hagfish mouth took a deep breath. The brain's folds inflated. We need to make quantum foam. I poured a shot of scotch. Need a drink? The neuron pod twisted, which I interpreted as a no. I downed the drink. Okay. When I opened the closet, lips, ears, and eyes spilled out. Trip's twitching eyeballs had toppled the bucket. Hey, Arnie! What's the good word? That old neuron pod get your address yet? Might take a while, depending on the cosmological constants in your reality. I put the neuron pod on the floor. What next? Well, ordinarily, you'd have to swallow that thing to send it back to me. But our universes are close enough, I can toss you a synapse cable. You feel like hurling, Arnie? I'm pretty sober right now. Well, either you have to swallow that pod, or you have to start drinking so I can toss you this cable. Ignoring the shot glass, I drank from the scotch bottle. The nausea set in instantly. With one animal-like retch, I felt a thin strand jump up my throat and stick to my teeth. I pulled the strand from my mouth, like a circus clown conjuring a line of handkerchiefs. The strand expanded until a whole rope of meat and fat dangled from my jaw. The synapse cable was 2 inches thick, plugging my esophagus. Put it in, said Trip. I waggled the mouth rope near the neuron pod. The hagfish mouth slurped the frayed ends and locked on with needle teeth. Ah, perfect! I'm getting your address now. For a few seconds, I choked on the synapse cable. The neuron pod contorted and flexed in concentration. Hey, you've got a cool little reality. No wonder you're still stage 1, with quantum particles like these. These photons are trash. And your Planck temperature, how do you get anything done? I nodded. It was all I could do. You did good, Arnie. Your universe was almost a splat on my windshield. Just gotta get you out of the way. Trip paused. You... The eyeballs turned to me. Hey, did you give me the wrong ad? Whoa! The lips flopped on the floor. Eyeballs burst into spurts of blood. Oh, God, no, what did you... The synapse cable retracted down my throat. The neuron pod detached from it, letting the meat rope whip through my esophagus like measuring tape. Are you trying to kill me? What did you do? Sorry, Trip. I can't. We made quantum foam, Trip. I massaged my neck. We made new universes. We found, in the innumerable realities, one whose cosmological constants were a perfect snare, clicked the neuron pod. This is how you entrapped me, isn't it, Master? Now that universe is slurping you up like noodle soup, I muttered, lying on the carpet. Of course, if you merely jettisoned space vacuum, your connection to the snare would be harmless. Your pain indicates, as we suspected, you intended to subsume this universe into your own. Or perhaps enslave it, like me and my compatriots. Eyeballs, lips, and ears shredded as if stuck in a storm of razor blades. Without lips, Trip's voice echoed from my throat like shouts from a deep cave. Arnie, come on, I'm sorry. Make it stop, Arnie. Please, I'm begging you. I covered my ears. I can't. Your address! Give me your address, Arnie. Let me escape before it's too late. Not even if I could. Then... Nausea pumped my guts. Fingers from my throat pried my teeth open. An arm stretched out of my mouth, fist first. If you yak me up, I'll survive. Vomit harder than ever, Arnie, right now! The arm grabbed the scotch. I'm close, Arnie. I can escape into your universe, but it has to be right now! The arm sank back into my stomach. Before I realized why, it stuck the bottleneck down my throat, pouring liquor into me. I tried to scream. Now, Arnie! Now! I couldn't take the bottle away from the hand in my throat. I flipped onto my belly, so the bottle didn't pour down my neck. No! Two arms opened my jaws wide. One flipped me onto my back and kept my mouth open. The other grabbed the bottle and spilled it on my face. I groped the floor for something, anything. A glass beaker. I smashed the bottle with the beaker. Scotch soaked the carpet. No! The arms in my mouth pat the damp floor. No! The arms slid down my throat until the fingertips brushed against my tongue. No! I struggled to my knees, teeth clenched, salivating, holding myself. For 20 minutes, I puked. No eyeballs, no limbs, just ordinary stomach contents. I spent the night cleaning vomit and broken glass. Hey, how are you holding up? The neuron pod deflated. I am well, thank you. You sure? My torment is at an end. Enslaved realities have been released. It is over. I tossed vomit and glass into the trash. And our quantum foam... I opened my desk drawer. Milky sand, so fine and smooth it could have been liquid, like cream for coffee. Each speck was a universe. One speck had swelled like a pearl. That's Trip's trap, huh? My old master used the technique quite often. The neuron pod observed the foam with its eyeless gaze.
I am impressed with your ability to synthesize quantum foam. You have a knack for it.
It wasn't that hard, I said, since you gave me the recipe. It's just chemistry. The hagfish mouth made a toothy smile.
Proper chemistry is vital for an up-and-coming Stage 2 universe.
The end.
So, that was pretty weird, wasn't it? That's a weird one. I am writing another book, sort of a novella. It's called Man vs. Horse, and it's about a guy who sort of flubs his life so hard that he has to race a horse in a 100-mile race, and if he loses his legs. So I guess you can really tell what kinds of stories I like writing. Alright, bye-bye.
By the way, I've got a Patreon at patreon.com/thinkster. I want to thank all these squidlings and elder squids. Thanks.